So we had this idea to go spec racing in a Miata. To clarify, that "we" includes me, the driver, Mike D, the camera guy slash Miata owner, and my buddy Paul, the engineer slash Miata guru. With a decent amount of driving experience under my belt, learning how to race other dudes in cars seemed like a logical next step for my development as a driver. Mike wanted to make his Miata a track car anyway, and Paul's a Miata fanatic who really loves challenges like this, so yeah, why not race? But we're complete novices and had no idea where to begin. That's why we contacted this guy. He handles communications for Mazda Speed Motorsports and knows more about racing than any of us, and probably you. Dean suggested that our first move should be to prepare our team's driver for race duty. We fully agreed and promptly signed me up for a 3-day Skip Barber racing school at Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca. I've spent time on track and even attended a driving school or two, but with 3 days devoted solely to refining my driving skills, this would be the most thorough instruction I'd ever received.
We introduce the school in the morning as if nobody knows how to drive at all, and we kind of treat it like boot camp where we take everybody from the basics. We give them ground rules, we give them vehicle dynamics information. Technique is going to happen eventually with a lot of practice and a lot of dedication, and then speed is actually going to be a side effect of good technique.
Objective number 1 is to learn the race line, no matter what speed you have to go. All we're trying to do is grind in the line over and over again.
I realized that I learned how to downshift by learning double clutching from a magazine article I read from Car and Driver. So I've been double clutching for years for no good reason. So I had to unlearn that in one section.
Micah is progressing nicely. He's gotten to the point now where his technique is actually good enough to where we're requesting him to go a little bit faster, using a little bit more of the limit of the tire. I think he'll be fast at the end of the 3 days for sure. The next exercise that we work on is the most intensive exercise that we have out of the course of the 3 days. We have them listen to about a 45-minute lecture in the classroom about the technical aspect of how to achieve threshold braking and trail brake rotation. We use corner number 2, which is a very, very high-speed entrance type of corner that's low speed at the exit.
The big trick with trail braking for me is that my natural inclination, just from driving on video, is to use the brakes to lighten the rear and really step out of the car and then drift through the corners. But that's not the fast way, evidently.
We have a few different type of braking exercises and different ways to get people to feel the limit of the tire. And he actually not only found the limit of the tire, he got the car sliding with what we call trail brake oversteer, which is very difficult to do in our MX-5 car. Stayed online the whole time, went back to power, and did a nice little slide all the way through turn 2. He was definitely overdriving the car a little bit, but he is learning the essence of car control. We're going to teach him how to, dial it back a little and start going faster.
What I'm looking for is good use of the eyes, car placement, smooth hands, good brake pedal pressure with a good release, and just being smooth. Arm braking here. Car turned in, line it up with the tree. Eyes down the racetrack. 3/4 of the way out. Light brake here just to settle the car. This is a track that rewards an early speed adjustment, whether it's a lift off or a brake, whatever the case may be, and carrying some momentum, some rolling speed through the corner.
Day 2, I feel really good. So with exercises that focused very, very heavily on braking and more specifically trail braking and how to carry more speed into the corners and stretch out the length of that straightaway as long as possible. The trick is to figure out how to get the car to rotate under trail braking without doing it so much as to be spectacular but slow.
They're going to have to figure out how to put a lap together, which is one of the hardest things to do in motor racing.
It's smoother overall with your footwork on the setup for turn 9.
He was connecting laps, he was putting together laps, he was flowing through just perfectly on the lapping session. He was getting down to a lap time in the car that was alarmingly fast for, again, his experience. His next step is he needs to go out and he needs to start racing. The next big thing is to get to learning about his racecraft, how to drive the car through traffic, you know, running wheel to wheel.
There were a couple of really interesting exercises that involved getting the cars very close to each other, a couple of rolling starts and seeing who could get the jump on the rest of the people in the group. And that was actually a lot of fun. That was really, really cool.
We just let them roll through turn 11 side by side, nice and slow and even steady pace. And then we throw the green. So they get the sensation of running with other cars around them.
Do you think I'll actually do okay?
You have the ability of winning races with a NASA field. You're going to be clubbing baby seals. Don't put that on camera. See, that's
You got that on camera, right?
You're just not only going to win, you're going to walk away from the field.
Really?
Yeah, I'm trying to tell you, you need to race. You know what I mean? You can go out there and race.
Okay then, no pressure. But before we just waltz out to the nearest track and start winning, we need to get our car in order. Watch us hack, tweak, tune, and test Mike D's grungy little Miata in KBB Spec Races, a Miata, Part 2.